To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up. To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up.
I woke up one day and I'm feeling truly blessed. With this life I got to live, but my hand on my chest, praying for the best, living in the moment, that's the truth. Well, I'm telling you, get it too, you know, that's how we do it. To my brothers and my cousins and the struggle, listen, took the way for the future and the body distant. Keep the faith, make a change, reach for the star, putting it up, holding it down while I spit these bars.
In this time or another, when we need each other, I look around, all I see is a brother from another mother. So don't stress, put me to the test. I'm SD, RTL, best of the best. This is to my day one, brother Jake, hey, you were with me from the start, showing me the way, forever grateful for your love and care in my life. Time for me to keep going, let's feel the hype.
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up.
My brother,
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up. That's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother. I hope this message healed the damage that was inflicted on you. So I'm taking it from you, cause I'd rather see my brothers loving and loving instead of suffering and struggling. Just hope one day my brothers can find a lot. Nothing better than seeing them succeed and living a better life. So they better believe I'ma be standing by their side, I'ma be their God that they never had, that they never had.
we see coming at ya, looking at for my brothers. Respect for each other, respecting your mothers. We do the right thing, representing the youth. It ain't about lying, it's all about truth. Look after your mom, be an inspiration. Keep the torch burning for the first people of nation. Look up to your elders, listen to their lessons. Hear us when we tell ya, we ain't even messing.
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up.
My brother,
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling, keep your head up, cause we do care. I know you're fed up, just keep your head up, just keep your head up. That's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother, that's my brother.
Try and stay positive, that's all I ever hear. I'm real sick and tired, being stuck in first gear, never knowing what tomorrow might bring. Thank God for my brothers, for the song of the sing. It's a song of hope, the future might hold a brighter day for us, the young and the old, looking up to the sky, the sun and the moon. I feel it in my bones, a change is coming soon.
Never easy leaving family all the way from home. Thankful for my brothers never leaving me alone. I'm from BLA, so far away. I got my boys, got my brothers, I'm here to stay. Representing BLA, all I got to say. So I pray to God it's gonna be a better day. God's gift to me is being who I want to be. To my family at Bush, let's keep the peace.
Jay Hogan is back again to tell my brothers out there to stand up, don't be silent, to keep it life. I know it's hard to keep clean, but that ain't an excuse to do the stupid things you do to relax your mind, but then do the time. I'm just saying, forget that, keep your head up, shoot for the moon, aim for the stars, don't be scared, cause I'm here, my brother, to stand next to you and the rest of the crew to stop the struggling, stop the struggling.
coming all the way from YC with the gang. Me and all my brothers feel so much pain. See my people fighting, oh there must be a change. Protect their own, or we'll never be the same.
Listen up what we say, we always stick together. Through thick and thin we stick, we never say never.
If you're feeling down, you know where to go. You go to the place where people call you bro. Riding at the store when the time is tough. My brothers make it better when enough.
You know who you can trust, it's clear to see. We've got each other's backs, brothers and me.
To my brothers out.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our fourth math lesson of the week for this beautiful Thursday. Let's have a look at what we've got on our lineup for today in maths. So, on your first slide, as you can see, we are learning to use number lines to solve different number patterns, and we've revisited that task already in our tasks from yesterday. We're also going to use frames or number frames to help us with our addition and working out missing numbers, and that's your new task for today, which we will go over and demonstrate for you in today's lesson. And finally, we're going to use our counting and our math skills to solve different puzzles and codes. And thankfully, Mr. Max is with me today. He's going to help me show you on how we can use our numbers and our mental maths to work out some mystery kind of puzzles we've got today. So really exciting stuff coming right up for you in our math lesson for today. So let's bring you down here to the work desk. And we are now up to page 30 and 31 of our middle school math workbooks. Now, as you can see on page 30, you will see number frames or the tens frames. So you'll see what looks like dominoes almost. You'll see different black dots in square boxes, and we're going to use those frames to help us with our counting. Now, if you have a look on page number 31, again, there are missing boxes there with some numbers, and we're going to demonstrate on how we can complete that task using our counting and our addition skills. So as you can see on question number 1 on page 31, you'll be able to see to write the missing numbers in each grid below. So we're going to have a look at question letter A. So what numbers do we have on the outside there, Mr. Max?
We have the numbers 5, 9, 10 and 4.
Cool. And the number inside the box we have?
Just a 3.
All right, awesome. So I wonder what this puzzle might be. So we're going to use the frames on page number 30 to see if we can figure out where exactly we're going with this puzzle. So I'm looking at that 3 and I see the 5 next to it. What do you reckon that might mean?
Well, if we think about it like this, each row, so this is a row, and each column has to add to whatever is at the end of it. So, for example, this row, this box, which is empty, plus 3 must equal 5.
So if we have a look at the frame of 5 black dots, okay, now we know that there's 3. So if we want to circle 3 black dots out, cool. How many do we have left over?
2.
So, awesome. So we know that 3 plus 2 equals 5. So that gives us the row going across. However, we need to be careful as well because there's actually numbers going down at the bottom of that column. So we see number 4. But let's focus on, let's focus on 4 actually. So this one will be pretty straightforward. So we know that 4 is the answer. I wonder what the missing box is, Mr. Max.
So we have a look at our 10 frame. There's 4. 2 we've got, leaves us with 2.
Cool. So we know going across, we have 2 plus 3 equals 5. And also going down, we have 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now, let's move on to the last remaining box there. Can you demonstrate for us, Mr. Max?
So we could do it 2 ways because we've got 3 plus something is 10 and 2 plus something is 9. Let's say we do it 2 plus something is 9. Have a look at the 10 frame with 9 dots. This is 9 dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 we have, so this is how many are left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 plus 7 is 9. And we also know that 3 plus 7 is 10. So if we make a mistake, we'll see because they won't add up.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So again, as Mr. Max mentioned, if you've got another number in there that's not 7, you might need to revisit your answer again and maybe go over your basic addition skills so that not only are you getting the answer that's going across, but you're also getting the answer that's going down. Okay, let's show a couple more examples. So what are the numbers on the outside in question B?
7, 6, 9 and 4.
And again, we only have the one number, which is
a 3 again.
Cool. All right, so I'll let Mr. Max choose and see, using our tens frames, how we can figure out this first up puzzle.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the first row. 3 plus something adds to 7. We look at our 10 frame, find the one that has 7. This has 7 dots. We've already got 3, so that leaves 4 dots. So 3 plus 4, we know, equals 7.
Perfect.
I'm going to move on to the first column. 3 plus something is 1. 3 plus something is 4. Now I think this one would be pretty simple. We're just adding 1 to 3. 4, you see you've got 3, 1. And then we've got 1 plus something equals 6. We have a look at our 10 frame. We cover up 1 dot. There are 5 dots left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 1 equals 6. And just so we're super sure, we can add up 4 and 5 to check that they add to 9. And we know that that's the case because we have this 10 frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go.
Perfect. All right, so there you go. All right, let's show one more example in question C. Now, I think these are maybe bigger numbers that we have in C here, just to give us a bit of a challenge. So, the numbers on the outside, Mr. Max, are?
9, 8, 7, 10.
Cool. And the number inside the box we have?
7.
Cool. All right, so let's follow the same process. If you found a pattern that's comfortable for you, I think Mr. Max has found a pattern that works for him. Okay, we're going to stick with that just to make it easy for us. So, how can we start that process off?
So let's have a look. 7 plus something equals 9. We have a look at our 10 frames. Here is the 9 10 frame. Count up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many dots does that leave? It only leaves 2 dots.
Cool.
7 plus 2 equals 9. Then I want to deal with this column. 7 plus something equals 10. We look at our 10 frame that has 10 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 dots left. And we know that 7 plus 3 makes 10. And finally, 3 plus what makes 8. We have a 10 frame with 8 dots. Cover up 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. And just so we're super sure that that's the right answer, 2 plus 5, what does that equal? It equals 7. We can confirm that by looking at the 7 10 frame. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go.
Perfect. Awesome. So if you're not sure what frame to look at, because it can be a little bit confusing, you simply look at the number on the outside of the square. So those are the answers on the outside of the square. And if you're unsure, you simply look for that, and that'll guide you to the frame that you need to look for to help you with your working out. Awesome. All right, so let's move on to another puzzle, or using numbers and addition to help us with solving things like codes. So on page number 32 and number 33, you will see some shapes. Now we've used those shapes and put them into numbers. So we're going to use those shapes as coded numbers. So we have the question at the top that says, sometimes number puzzles are a bit hard to solve, but their secret is simple. So we have triangle plus triangle equals 12, right? Now, don't worry if you're a little bit confused. We're going to explain soon. We also have triangle plus circle equals 10. And we have circle plus square equals 11. So there's 3 different shapes here with 3 different numbers. Our task now is to solve what each shape equals to. So to solve the problem, look at one line at a time. So if we look at the first line, we know that the answer is 12. So there's lots of different variations on what this could be, on what the triangle could be. So the 2 shapes are the same triangles. This tells you the numbers must be the same. So we need to know that both numbers need to be the same, like repeated addition needs to equal 12. So what are 2 of the same numbers that equals 12, you reckon, Mr. Max?
I think it would be 6 plus 6.
Cool.
Because we have 2 triangles, but it could also be 2 times a triangle.
Yep.
And so the triangle has to be 6.
Nice, perfect. So we've got the answer right there. Triangle equals 6. Our task now is to solve what number is a circle and what number is a square. So let's have a look at that second line at the top there. We have triangle plus circle equals 10. So we know that triangle is a 6, right? which leaves us with the remaining number which must equal that circle. What would that be, Mr. Max?
It would have to be a 4 because 6 plus 4 equals 10.
Perfect. So we're going to write that not only inside the circle, but we're going to write that down on the missing line, right? Which then leaves us with the final shape, which is a square. So we know that 4 is a circle, so we're going to write that at the top, which means a square must equal what, Mr. Max?
The square would have to equal 7 because 4 plus 7 equals 11.
Perfect. All right, so there you have it. We've solved the first part of the code, right, where a triangle equals 6, a circle equals 4, and a square equals 7. So that'll help us with now solving the rest of these questions. So we're going to have question number 1. We have circle plus circle equals 6. Okay, so let's see if we can solve this. What do you reckon, Mr. Max?
Well, 3 circles, all the same number, make up 6. Or alternatively, what we could also say is 3 times circle equals 6. And we have to think about what is added 3 times to get to 6, and that could only be 2.
Nice, good work. So we're going to write that inside the circle, and we're going to write it in the table right next to that code. Okay, so we know that circle is 2, right? Which means now the second line, the answer is 5. What must the square be?
The square would have to be 3 because 2 plus 3 equals 5.
Cool. All right, now this next one is tricky. Now, as you can see, we've changed because there's no longer addition. We've got to notice that it's actually now subtraction. Okay, so we know that the square is 3. However, if the answer is 5, the triangle must be what, a lower or higher number, you reckon, Mr. Max?
It would have to be a higher number.
All right, so what would that be?
It would be the number 8 because when you take 3 away from 8, you get 5. And if you're unsure about this, you could do it another way. You could add the 3 to the 5 because it's been taken away.
Perfect. Yep.
So there you go.
Definitely. So you can use your addition skills sometimes to actually help you with your subtraction. And that allows you to figure out the difference between 2 or more numbers. And that's another good strategy to do so. Let's have a look at one more pattern, and then we'll allow you to complete the rest of those questions by yourself. So we have 3 triangles there in the first line. We're going to do one line at a time, and the answer is 12. Now let's see if we can solve what number the triangle must be. What do you reckon?
Each number is the same. There's 3 of them. 3 times triangle equals 12. It could only be the number 4.
Nice. Good work. So we know that because 4 plus 4 equals 8, plus another 4 equals 12. And because they're all the same number, right, obviously that gives us the number 4. So that helps us with this next line. So we know that triangle is the number 4. The answer is 7. What's the missing number, you reckon, Mr. Max?
It would be 3. And if we're unsure about that, we can also use the 10 frame as well. You know, you've got 7 is how many dots you have. 4 we know there are. So the remainder is 3.
Perfect.
So circle is 3.
All right, now the next one. All right, so we know that it's a little bit tricky. It doesn't actually give you a number, but because we know that triangle equals 4, it'll help us figure out what number goes in the square, or what square represents. What do you reckon it is, Mr. Max?
2 squares equal 4. Each square is the same, so the squares could only be 2.
Perfect. All right. So there you have it. We've actually used our addition skills and our counting skills to solve not only a puzzle, but actually codes like this. And that's a really, really good way to understand. By doing it one step or one line at a time, it'll help us with our addition, especially when we get to bigger numbers. Thank you for your help, Mr. Max.
Thank you.
Have fun at completing the rest of those questions on page number 33. We hope you're able to solve those questions based on the patterns that we've just showed you. We'll revisit your answers in our next lesson. But for now, have fun, enjoy doing your maths, and we look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Bye. afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second part of our middle school learning. We're going to put maths aside and we're going to jump into our integrated learning with lots on our lineup for today. So let's have a look at what we're learning about today. We are learning to understand what population means, and now we introduced this new word to you yesterday, and we're going to keep looking at this so that you're able to improve your understanding about what population means, and we're going to understand why it's actually important to know. So we're going to see how population affects us in our own families and communities, and believe it or not, it actually does. And we've got a special video to show you about that today, and that'll help us complete our workbook tasks about population for our lesson today. So let's have a look. Population, what does it actually mean? Now, population is the total number of people, so the max number of people who live in a country, city, town, or community. Now, yesterday's lesson, we introduced different examples. I gave you a couple of communities, and we even looked at the smallest country in the world by population and the largest country in the world by population, just giving you an example of different numbers. Now, we've got some 3 new communities to show you, just in case you didn't know the population of those communities. So the first one we have up is Tuchikala. Now, Tuchikala, the community population back in 2016, it'll probably be a lot bigger now, is 227 people. So maybe not as small as Binjari, but then also not as big as Borroloola. So we have about 227 people back in 2016. That was their population number of 227. In Papanya, the 2016 population of Papanya community is 404 people. So a little bit bigger than Tuchikala, and we know that in Papanya, that's their population. And our next one is Kalkarinji. Now, a few fellas and ladies are from there, and we know that 2016, the population of Kalkarinji is 575 people. So we went from the smallest one, smallest number for today anyway, in Tuchikala, to now Kalkarinji, where they have about 575 people. But remember, these numbers are the ones that were back in 2016. In 2022, it might be a little bit different. So you might want to check out what it is. Now, we've got some interesting numbers next. Now, we've looked at the rest of the world. I thought it would be a great idea for us to understand what the actual Aboriginal population might be. I mean, this will really help you understand just how many Aboriginal people there are, not only in the NT, and we'll introduce the next number in our next slide, and the number of Aboriginal people that live in the NT is 78,600 people. All right. Now, it might sound a lot, but when we put it around the whole country and show you the population of other states, you may rethink that. Now, the next slide you'll see the Aboriginal population in Australia, and again, this is from 2016. Let's see if you can have a guess. Now, on the screen you can see it's 798,400 people. Now, that's 2016, and that's very close to 1 million people that classify themselves as Aboriginal, right? And it's a pretty big number. So close to 1 million people currently that classify themselves as Aboriginal right here in Australia. Okay, so why is it important to know about population? Population is important to understand because 3 simple reasons. Number 1, it actually helps us to know how many people live on our land. Now, it might be very important in your community as well, because it can lead you to number 2. It gives you knowledge on how you can help others. So by knowing your population, or by knowing how many people might be next door or in your neighbors or in your community, you will know how to help those people and how many of them. Right? And it's really important, especially if you go to the shop or you go shopping in other states or in another place. You'll know exactly how much to buy because you know the number of people you need to help or to buy for. And number 3, especially with people in very high positions, knowing the population actually helps people make very, very important decisions. And these are decisions around our survival, our lifestyle, and making sure that our day-to-day living is okay. And it's really important to know, and that all comes down to this idea of knowing the population. And that's why it's important. So, and now that we know that, let's come down to the work desk over here, and we're going to introduce our numbers again. Now, in yesterday's task, we done a couple of numbers live on screen. I think we done the NT, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
NT, I think we did Queensland and Western Australia as well.
Perfect. So we've done those 3 states, and Mr. Keegan has completed the rest of those numbers. The reason why Mr. Keegan was able to first and foremost know that is because he actually knew where those states were, and he the knowledge of he knows about the Australian map helped him identify where the numbers are. And what were some of the interesting things that you found, Mr. Keegan, about the population numbers?
Something really interesting was that the ACT have 432,266 people in such a small area compared to the NT, which only has 246,338. So almost 200,000 more.
Nice.
In such a small area.
And you can even see, even as small as Victoria, might be a little bit bigger than the ACT, but they're in the millions, aren't they?
They have 6 million compared, they're probably only up there for the Northern Territory, and they have 6,649,159 people.
Yeah, so if you've ever been to Victoria and you've wondered why it's so packed and so crowded, based on the population, like I mentioned, it actually gives you knowledge to know how many people live on your land, all right? And we're very blessed to be in the NT or a place like Alice Springs where there's a little bit more space to move around, and we should be very fortunate for that. I mean, even looking at New South Wales, where they have 8 million people in such a small area, you compare that to, say, Western Australia, who's only got 2 million people, and you have a look at their land, right? You know, it can give you an idea of just how crowded some of these states are around Australia. So hopefully you had fun at completing those numbers, and you're also able to get that number at the bottom about the population of Australia, which is close, very close to 26 million people living in Australia. Oh, how cool is that? All right, so let's move on to our next task. Now our next task is interesting, and we've got a video to show you on how you can do this very, very well. So at the top of page number 17, right, this is going to help you with page number 18. So we know that population means the total number of people who live in a country, city, town, or community or area. All right. Now we've looked at the big numbers. Right. Now the next 5 questions underneath that box, we're going to look at much smaller numbers. Now it's your task to complete those questions. Now as you can see, you simply just put in the number. So for example, I'm going to ask Mr. Keegan actually. If I was to ask Mr. Keegan, I have, and there's a blank space there, people in my family. Mr. Keegan will count how many people he has in his family, and he'll put that answer in the missing space. So how many people do you have in your family, Mr. Keegan?
I have 5 brothers, sorry. 1 sister, myself, my mum, my dad, and my little nephew. So awesome. I have 10 people.
All right, and now all of these answers will be different for everyone, right? But I want you to put the correct answer based on the number of people you think are in your family. Now, believe it or not, it might not just be your immediate family that live in your house. This might be a different number. So number 2, how many people live in your household, Mr. Keegan?
I have 12 people that live in my house.
Awesome. So as you can see, he might have 10 people that live in his family. However, there's a couple more people that live in his actual house. Now, he mentioned before the number of brothers and sisters, and you're going to go ahead and put that number in. So I think it was, from memory, 5 and 1?
Yep.
Yep. So 5 brothers and 1 sister. And what community are you from, Mr. Keegan?
I have family in multiple communities, but I'll put Papania.
Cool. Yep. And as a guess, how many people do you think there are? So I think there are...
I know that there was it 400 people in Papania?
Yeah, I think it was about 400. Yeah. Cool. So have a look at your community. Do you think you know how many people live in your community? Have a really good think about that, and you can have a guess. It doesn't have to be right. We're not looking at right or wrong answers, but we just want to see how much you know. Now at school, all right, and I'm going to use Mr. Keegan, let's say 7-8A, at school, how many students did you have in your class, say, last term, at the end of last term, term 4?
I'd say probably around 15 people.
Perfect. Now you'd go ahead and complete that, right? If you remember, count all of your classmates and see if you can get the correct number. Now the reason why Mr. Keegan has gone ahead and done that, because it will help you with this next task. So your task is to have a talk with your parents, family members, or even friends. Talk to them and ask them about the number of people in their family. Use the questions below to help you and place your answers in the blank spaces on page number 18. So you can see there are 3 interview boxes. You simply put in the answers based on the people that you've interviewed, put in the answers on those missing spaces. Now we've got a video to show you. We've managed to go around and ask some staff members the exact same questions, and hopefully this will give you a very good example of how you want to interview your family and friends about how many people are in their families and also in their communities. So enjoy this video.
Hi Andra.
Hi Max.
Today we are learning in integrated learning about populations. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about your own family and your own household.
Sure.
How many people do you have in your family?
In my family I have 4 people. I have a husband and 2 children.
And so how many people live in your house?
At the moment 3 people live in my house.
3 people. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 brothers and I have 1 sister.
Excellent. And can you guess how many people live in your community, and what is your community?
My community is Alice Springs. I was born here, and I think there's about 27,000 people that live here.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Hi Miss Lisa.
Hi Mr. Max.
So we're doing population in IL at the moment, and I wanted to ask you a few questions about different populations in your own life.
Okay.
So how many people do you have in your family?
My immediate family, there are 4 of us.
4 of us, very popular number here.
Yeah, me, my husband and my 2 children.
Okay. And so the next question is how many other people live in your house? So it's the 4.
Well, I have 6 people that live on our block. So it's me, my husband, my 2 children, my mother-in-law and her partner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how many brothers and sisters do you yourself have?
I have 1 sister.
1 sister. And can you guess what the population is of your community and what your community is?
I live in Alice Springs and I think there are about 27,000 people.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Max.
Hi, Miss Rebecca.
Hey, Mr. Liko.
Hey, so in integrated learning, we're learning about population, and I have a few questions to ask you about smaller numbers of population, maybe in your own life.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first question is, how many people do you have in your immediate family?
In my immediate family, there are 5 of us. Me, my husband, and then I have 3 younger children.
Perfect. And how many people then live in your house? I'm assuming just you 5?
Well, actually, we live on my parents' property, so everybody that lives on the property equals to 10 people, because my parents, my siblings live on the grounds as well.
Nice. So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 4 younger sisters.
Cool. And can you guess the population of your community, and what community are you from?
I was born in Cape Town, South Africa.
Nice.
And if I'd have to guess the population of Cape Town, I would say maybe 500,000. I honestly don't know. I have not checked.
Cool. Nice. All right. So, yeah, I thought we would ask you about your numbers and appreciate your responses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Flo.
Hello, Max.
I've got a few questions for you based on what we're doing in IL at the moment.
Great.
How many people do you have in your family?
I have, in my immediate family, I have 4 people. I have my mum, my dad, myself and my brother.
Okay. And how many people live in your house?
Here in Alice Springs, just 1.
Just 1. Okay. And so I think you answered this in the previous question, but the next question was how many brothers do you have, how many sisters do you have? And I reckon you have one brother, right?
Correct, one brother.
Right, see, I remembered.
Thanks for listening.
And how many people live in your community, and what is your community?
So my community back in South Australia, where I grew up, is called Birdwood. And I don't know, but I would say about, it's pretty small, 500 to 600 people.
Pretty small place.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Hey, Mr. T.
Hey, Mr. Nico.
Hey, so in integrated learning, we're learning about population. I thought I'd ask you a few questions about what population might look like in your life. So, our first question is, how many people are in your immediate family?
In my family, there is, I think, 9, 10, 11.
11, wow, you've got a big family.
That's including my sister's husband and my 2 nieces.
Nice, cool. Which leads me on to then, how many people live in your house?
In the house, probably 3, 4, 5.
5, cool.
Yeah, 5.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 little brothers and 3 sisters.
Cool. And the next population number is your community. So what community are you from? And can you guess how many people are the population of your community?
Well, I'm from Brisbane. Like in Brisbane, like in general?
Yep, in your community or in Brisbane?
That's probably like, I'm thinking like, I don't know, 195,000.
195,000. Cool. Yeah. So that's a good look at population numbers in Mr. T's life. Thanks, mate. Hello, Mr. Matt.
There you go.
Cool. Hey, so in integrated learning, we're learning about population, and I have a few questions I want to ask you about population in your life. So my first question is, how many people are there in your immediate family?
Immediate family? So my brother, my sister, my mum, and I've got 7 nieces and nephews.
Nice, wow, cool. So then, which might be the same as Miss Rebecca's, but just to remind us, how many people live in your house?
It's always very busy, it's 10.
10, wow, so lots of people in your house. And just going back to your question before, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Nice. And my next question is, what community are you from, and can you guess the population of your community?
All right, I think I'll do better than the rest. I was born in Alice Springs, born and raised, never lived anywhere else. And I'll guess the population of Alice Springs is around 28,000.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you, Mr. Matt, for your answers.
Anytime.
Cheers.
I'm go between.
Go on.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, mate.
We're doing populations in IL at the moment, and I have a few questions for you.
All right.
So, how many people do you have in your family?
Altogether, or just immediate family, or the whole lot?
Let's say immediate.
Mum, Dad, there's 6 of us.
6. And how many people live in your house?
Here in Alice? Oh, 2.
2 people. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
2 brothers, 1 sister.
Okay. And can you guess how many people live in your community, the population of your community?
London? Or here?
Yeah, say London, for example.
Like 16 million.
16 million, wow. Isn't that so many more than all the other people we've had so far?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right, and there you have it. So there are some awesome examples from our very own staff members about their understanding of population. And as you can see, there are lots of different numbers, whether they're big numbers or they're much smaller. So we had Mr. Mark guess about 16 million people in the place that he's from, right down to Miss Flo, who mentioned there's only about maybe 500 to 600 people from where she's from. So there's lots of different variations, but it's very important to understand the importance of population. Now, hopefully you can use the same template or use the same questions to ask your family and your friends exactly the way that Mr. Max and I did with our staff members, and have fun with it. You get to learn more about the population and also your very own family and friends, things that you probably didn't know before. So let's wrap it up for today. What did we achieve today? We are able to understand what population means. We're also able to explain why it is important to know about population in our very own communities, and not only Australia itself, but countries around the world. And we're able to ask other people what population looks like for them. Just like we've done with our teachers and our staff members here at Yirara, the same thing you're going to do in your task with your friends and family. So have fun with it. We look forward to hearing about your stories and your interviews with your communities, and hopefully you can complete that task. Otherwise, we'll see you again in the next lesson, same time, same place. Bye.
Welcome to today's art lesson, Year 9. Today we are going to be doing a bit of practice in drawing the human figure. So we've already in previous lessons had lots of practice in drawing the head, and now we're going to put it together with the whole body. So my best advice in having a go at doing this first is to use a ruler to divide your page up into 8 sections, and each section is going to be evenly spaced apart. So I'm just going to show you a little bit what that looks like. So I've got one here. So 8 sections, and each section measures 1 head. And this is going to help us to draw the human figure. So I'm going to have a go at doing this now and show you what it looks like. All right, let's go. So today we're having a go at drawing the human figure or the human body using guidelines to position the features. So each ruler length on my page equals 1 head length. And this is just a guide that I use to do a rough drawing when I'm not looking at a photo or a model. It's one of the easiest ways because we can use these lines to see where to put the shoulders, the elbows, the navel, the knees, and then we can draw something with correct proportions. So I've sped this video up, but if you would like to pause it at any point to look a little bit more closely at what I'm doing, I encourage you to do that. So I'm using the same approach now to draw another figure, but this one is going to be with wider proportions. So if you can imagine maybe like a superhero or your favorite anime character who might be really muscly. I'm again just using the same kind of guidelines. 1 ruler length equals 1 head. And then I know where to position the shoulders and the elbows and the navel and so forth. So just have a go, have a play around and see if you can draw a couple of different figure drawings, maybe a female and a male, something with wider proportions and something with more narrow proportions.
Everybody knows he's a reggae.
Check, check, 1, 2. Hello everyone, I'm Big T. I'm from Borroloola, and this song is called Grateful. Feel free to clap along, and yeah, hope you enjoy. From the start to the finish, my friend, from the beginning to the end, rapping from the hardest, no easy task. Do what you gotta do and it'll last. Keep moving forward, never looking back into the past, cause it will just be a distraction, attacking your mental action. If you find some help for yourself, then you'll feel the satisfaction. Coming back in, then you'll make things happen. Now I got everybody head bobbing along to my song. This is a young man from BLA, aka Borroloola. I got something to say. Everything is going good, gotta find a way to thank God, so I pray for the food on my plate every night and day, and for the warm bed and the roof that's over my head. I said what I said, yes I have dreams, I'm not ashamed. Don't paint us with the same brush, we are not the ones to blame. We are here to make a change that's happening around us, cause the bad vibe is surrounding us, trying to brainwash all of us. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. I remember I was hungry cause my family was always struggling and budgeting for money. Always broke, always used to hope my family would stop wasting money on harmful substances like alcohol and smoke show. My mom would always tell me not to do that, to do this as a kid. Now look on me now, standing in front of the crowd saying the words out loud. Then my family must be really proud of what a man I've become. Especially dad and mom, that they had a son that grew up not a screw up, that had fun even though we didn't have none. Sometimes it be a hassle, but kids gotta be careful. Most of the nights I played wasn't that full, but I was always grateful to get food, to stop the rumbling in my stomach. At least it was something so better than nothing to stop your fussing. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Showing love to my supporters and fans, because I know how it feels to be ignored and embarrassed. After all, sharing is caring. From the darkness I'm emerging, searching for the lonely and broken, healing the ones that be hurting, trying to seek attention, trying to seek affection. That's your only intentions. It's the only interaction with the world that we living in. Some say that rapping comes naturally, while others rap casually. They don't know I'm struggling, but I'ma keep hustling. As long as I'm grinding, my heart gon' keep shining. Cry later, don't forget to keep laughing, so I can keep this comforting songs coming. You know Big T, keep it PG, ain't no need for cussing. I will never stop loving. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, and I will hold it to the end. Thank you. Check, check, 1, 2. Hello everyone, I'm Big T. I'm from Borroloola, and this song is called Grateful. Feel free to clap along, and yeah, hope you enjoy. From the start to the finish, my friend, from the beginning to the end, rapping from the hardest, no easy task. Do what you gotta do and it'll last. Keep moving forward, never looking back into the past, cause it will just be a distraction, attacking your mental action. If you find some help for yourself, then you'll feel the satisfaction.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.
Right, afternoon, all you lovely mob out there, and welcome back to another numeracy session. Just hang on until let me just press the button quickly. I need to know how much time I have. So I just press the button to say how much I'm going to talk or how little I need to talk. Welcome to numeracy and a high five to all of you wonderful people. If you're regular, great stuff. Newcomers, welcome. Now, we are continuing our lesson today on ordering of numbers. Now, if you remember yesterday, for those that were here, if you remember yesterday, if you knew, yesterday we were looking at the good old Grand Old Duke of York. He had some soldiers that went up the hill and down the hill. And we were looking at ascending and descending. Now, Ms. Stina will press the buttons and we'll see the arrow going up and the arrow going down. So he had his soldiers march up and his soldiers march down. And if we look at our next slide, we'll see that is what ascending and descending order looks like. Ascending from the smallest to the largest and descending from the largest to the smallest. Now, today, I have some guests and some visitors that's going to help myself and Mr. Dave to talk about arranging our heights and students. Right, so you all know Mr. Dave.
Hello.
And we've got Ricardo Nugget. And we have got Mr. Leighton Anderson. Yes, I've got the name correct. Now, gentlemen, short notice for you fellas, but we are going to arrange you in height. But we first need to measure you. So, Mr. Dave, you have a tape measure. I have a tape measure. And we are going to measure.
Sure.
Who are you going to measure, sir?
I'll do Leighton.
Okay. And then, Ricardo, you can come and stand over here. And we are going to see where you... Okay, sorry, we're going to have to take your hat off.
Sorry, Leighton.
There we go. So let's see. Okay, there's Ricardo's height.
All right.
So let's see. Ricardo, you're going to help me? Right. There we go. Up there, let's see. Are we going to measure... Which way are we looking at? There we go. That one. So we're going to put that one up there. Can you hold that for me, please? Right. So that one up there, just hold it. And I'm going to bring it down. And, oh, look at that.
Reach, so
I need to...
Can you write 150 on the board?
Give one more. So we've got 150.
Right, 150.
And now we're going to need to add that last little bit at the bottom. And we have an amount of, say...
Bring it here.
20 centimeters. So, Ricardo, you have 150 plus 20. How many do I have? Do you think?
It is
170. So, Ricardo, you are
1.5.
170 centimeters tall. Do you want to measure me?
31.
You want to measure me? Rightio, let's go.
0.5.
So.
All right, so we've got to do the adding.
All right. Thank you, Ricardo. So let's see.
81.5.
I'm shorter than you.
You want to do me now?
Not fair. Okay. Hold there.
You have to.
Hold there for me. Let's go all the way. Oh, sorry. So this is Ricardo. I better write here, Ricardo.
All right.
Right. Okay, let's go all the way down. All right. There. So let's see. Thanks, Ricardo. So I've got 150 so far. You want to write 150, Ricardo?
All right.
Thank you. 150.
Have it write down again, brother.
And
150.
we've got 12. So 150 plus 12, Ricardo.
All right. Now
How much do we have?
Let's come down and measure it, Leighton.
What do you think?
162. Good job.
162. So I have a height of 162 centimeters. And Ricardo is... So how many do you have, sir? Face the camera.
21.8. 21.8.
21. Right here. How many?
All right. 171.8.
Oh, Mr. Dave is way too detailed. I just kind of rounded it off. Mr. Dave went to the millimeter, people.
Yeah.
Very, very, very. So this would be then Leighton.
That's me.
Whoa.
Leighton's here.
Leighton. Is that Leighton?
Leighton's taller than me.
Okay, so we need to have the final digits up on top.
Sure.
So where's our... There we go. That's the one you need, sir?
Yep, okay.
So we've got... Over here, we've got Ricardo at 170. I have got
Leighton.
162.
181.5.
Oof,
Mr. Davey, 171.8.
Okay, and then you can continue, Mr. David.
Sure.
And then Ricardo at
Ricardo is 162.
170. No, he's 170.
Okay, we mixed it up
he's
again.
170. He's taller than what I am.
170. And Miss Fleur?
I'm 162.
162.
Right, so if we look at, okay, gentlemen, thank you for now. I might call you back. Oh, it's can't clean up. So,
thanks, fellas.
Let's just leave that for now. It's not cleaning up, Mr. Dave. It's not cleaning up. Right. So, our job now, while Mr. Dave is cleaning up, is to put those numbers from smallest to largest. Okay? We're going to go in ascending order. So we're going to start from the shortest, and we're going to go up to the tallest person. Right. Mr. Davey, who would be first?
From the shortest to the tallest.
Yes.
Looks like 162 is the smallest number compared to those other ones.
Am I really the shortest?
Yep.
That's not
like
fair.
Yeah.
That's just wrong. Okay, let's
have a look at the next one. Looks like it is Ricardo. 170 is smaller than 171.8.
Are you taller than Ricardo?
It looks like it on our measurement.
Oh, we're going to have to bring them up there again and put them actually in the right order.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Ricardo is second, and that makes you third.
Yep.
And that makes Leighton fourth.
Can you believe they're actually in ascending order already?
Oh.
From left to right.
Fantastic. So shall we get the gentleman back up here?
Sure.
And see if we...
I'll go get them.
Get them and see if we were correct with Ricardo's. We clearly out.
Come, let's have a look.
Ricardo's measurement. I did not measure properly, people. Now, let's put it in this height, sir. So you have Leighton.
Yep, got to get in the
and then
right
Mr.
order.
Davey. And then Ricardo.
Am I taller than Ricardo?
Myself.
Maybe just.
I don't think so. Mr. Paul, what do you think? What do you think? Who is between Mr. Davey and Ricardo?
I think you're going to take the hat off.
Okay, let's take the hat off.
The hat's tricking me. Oh, it's close.
Oh, that's close.
It's close, but I think Ricardo is just a little bit taller.
Okay, so swap around.
All right.
So that is it.
But I will say this, if he had short hair like me, it might be a different story, because he's got his hair.
Excellent. So teachers can measure wrong. So I clearly measured Ricardo's measurement wrong. So there we are. From this side, from my side to Leighton's side, we are in ascending order. But from Leighton to me, it is our descending order. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, Mr. Dave. Thank you, gentlemen, for helping me out today. There's your hat. All right, so now we're going to look at our worksheet, because that is going to be where you're going to actually have to do your work. So if we look at our worksheet, you have your information over here. This is a list of how tall these people are. So there's your people, and there's their heights. So your job is to list them in the order starting from the tallest to the shortest, right? So remember, tallest to shortest is descending. So we're coming down. We are not going up, we are coming down. So which is our tallest person? Let's see, we've got a 180 over here. We've got a 180. So we've got two 180s. So which one? 185 or 183? 185. 185 centimeters. And then we're going to have 183 centimeters. So we've finished off the 180s, right? Next would be 170. The 170s. There's only one 170. So 173 centimeters, sorry, 173 centimeters. And so you're just going to go through, so 173, and then we're going to go for 160s. Okay, so you've got 169 centimeters and 160 centimeters. And don't be afraid to scratch out and mess around in your book. That's why worksheets are there for you to work on. And I'm just going to finish this bit quickly. 160, and then we go to 151, and 149, and then, oh, wrong, missed out on 155, people. Sorry, that's what happens if you're in a rush, because I'm running out of time, and Miss Andrea is waiting to teach. So how about you fix up my mistake and continue in the correct order. Have a lovely time. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Well, we're going okay here now. It's week 8. It's sunny. It's lovely. We've got a lot more students here. And today I'm going to teach you about punctuation, spelt like this, in writing and for easy reading. If you don't use punctuation, which means capitals, full stops, commas, and question marks, it's very difficult to read your text. It just all becomes a blur. So that's what we're going to look at today. And if we could look at the first PowerPoint slide, I'm explaining why. Punctuation is the system of signs and symbols given to a reader to show how a sentence is constructed. That means how it's put together, how it's built, and how it should be read, and it makes the meaning clear. So when you see a comma in your sentence, you need to take a little breath, a little break, and then keep on reading. So punctuation shows how the sentence should be read with breaks, breaths, questions, and ends. So when you see the full stop, you know that sentence or that thought is finished. We put a full stop there and you start again. So after your full stop, you may start another sentence. So let's have a look at some sentences with the down camera. So our first thing that we're talking about is capitals. Now capitals means capital letters, so you know that's uppercase when you're using the computer. So our first sentence, Tom went to the beach. The only capital letter we need there is Tom, the start of the sentence. Now, it also, using a capital letter here to start the next sentence, but we use capital letters for names, always, because you're important. So one day, Semi and Tyler went to the beach. So Semi and Tyler are both names, so Tyler has a capital letter as well. Now, if you look at your calendar, you will see that all your months begin with a capital letter. So that's our first month, January. And also to begin words that reference a deity. So that's gods. Now you know you've seen this in chapel and in your Bible. God always has a capital G, but other religions and other countries use capitals for their gods and deities. So we're also going to go back to the PowerPoint now. Another time it's really important to use a capital is for the first person singular pronoun, I. So when you write I in your sentence, you will always use a capital. So look at the sentence below. Mum and I went to the shop. So capital M for the start of the sentence and capital I. Now abbreviations means when you shorten something down. So Northern Territory has a lot of letters, and most often you'll see it written as capital N, capital T. And also your brand names like Nike, and have you ever seen Coke written with a little C? No, he's always got a big C. So now we're going to have a little practice, and Dave's going to help me. Good afternoon, Dave. How are you feeling today?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Wonderful, that's good. Put an exclamation mark after that.
I'm wonderful.
That's another one, but we won't talk about that today. So the first sentence, that's your sentence, Dave.
Yep. David ate lunch with me. So my name there is a name, so it needs a capital. You need to put capital D instead of lowercase d on the name David.
And for another reason too, because it's the start of the sentence. So that's two ways. Mm-hmm. Now we've got Amy, which is another name, and the start of the sentence, which has already got the capital. But I notice that Amy and I are going to the movies, and I also has to be a capital.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
Everywhere. It doesn't matter where it is in the sentence.
It's a person. I.
Well, I, yes. And this one?
My dog's name is Comet. So you've got a capital for the first of word for the sentence, but Comet is the dog's name. So C needs to be capital there. Comet is the dog's name.
That's right, because it's his name, and whether it's a dog or a horse or a budgerigar, we've still got to give it a capital letter if he's got a name. Mm. So this is easy. We won't repeat ourselves. Samantha has to be capital. But at the end of the sentence, we've got another person. Poor old Jack, he needs a capital. Is this sentence correct?
We are going to Darwin for a holiday. I think that's good, miss.
It is, because we've already done the thing and the place, Darwin. So all of those are correct. Now, tomorrow I'm having a party. So we've talked about this. I has to be a capital. You'll go?
Where is the bathroom? It looks like the first word on the sentence doesn't have capital, so we need to put in a W in a capital.
And I can do that easily because there's just enough room and I've got a black pen. Now, my birthday is in December. So once again, we need to make that a capital. And what did I say when I was talking about January before?
The months of the year need a capital on it.
That's right. I'm not going to do that with that pen because it would just make a mess, but we would put a capital there. And this is the last one. Brian and Justin are brothers.
So they're the name of someone, so the name of someone needs a capital.
Yes.
So Brian in capital and Justin, capital J for Justin.
Another person, Justin. All right, that's fantastic. Thanks, Dave.
No worries.
I think we've done that quite well. And now we're going to talk about full stops. On the PowerPoint there, if you don't mind. The full stop is to signal the end of a sentence, and it comes immediately after the last word in the sentence. So we're going to stop talking when we see the full stop. Frank lives in Catherine. Full stop, end of the sentence. Now, if we could look at the next slide, we're talking about commas. Now, you use commas to separate items or words in a sentence or list. So, for example, I went to the store to buy milk, comma, eggs, comma, and bread. Let's have a look at the down camera again. Commas again. So when you're listing things, you need to have a comma between them like before. The fruit bowl has oranges, comma, bananas, comma, pears, comma, pineapples, and apples in it. A comma is put between each item in the list, but the last two items always have and between them and no comma. So the example before actually wasn't perfect. So don't trust everything you get off the internet. Now the last thing we're going to do is question marks. If we could look at the PowerPoint. What are examples of question mark? A question mark is a punctuation symbol placed at the end of a sentence or phrase to indicate a direct question. So you're talking to someone directly. For example, she asked, "Are you happy to be home?" That's a question, so it must have a question mark on it. When a sentence asks a question, it often begins with who, what, where, when, why, how, or do, and ends with a question mark. So I'm going to look at one last one on the down camera, thanks. You should use a question mark at the end of every sentence that asks a direct question. It replaces the period, that is the full stop, as the sentence concluding punctuation. So you don't use a full stop and the question mark. For example, will you go to town with me? It's a question and we're putting in a question mark. So everybody, I hope you're doing well, and it's over and out from Dave and I.
See ya.
Thanks, Dave. Bye, everyone.
We're just kicking back in the studio, and this is dedicated to my Yanyel and Garwa people. RTL and BLA, let's go.
Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria.
Borlula is my land. BLA is where I stand. I'm a hunter, I'm a man. I am proud of who I am. I'm proud of who I am. Robinson, we keep it real. My hometown, we do not steal. January, Garawa, speak the truth. Barefoot warrior, don't need no boots.
I'm not gaming, that's the truth. Come to my town to have a look. Big barramundies on the hook. Take it home for me to cook. I'm DK, I got something to say. From Robinson to BLA. Crazy fisherman from Savannah Way. Listen up, y'all, I got something to say.
Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria.
Riding round with the motorbike. Ain't going home till I see the moonlight. My name is Davis, they call me Wissy. Making big dust when I'm drifting.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Bernie and Rango at your door. Chosen on the beat, Toothy on the street. S. Evans, Big T, Charlie, Javis and Noah on the mic. Sonny's out here, he bustin' a rhyme. DK and Declan trying to get with ya. Don't get it twisted, his name is Sylvester. Throw your hands up now, give it everything, cause you know he's on the flow like Jaden King. Fire like a cannon, you down with Shannon. Lula Robinson, you know we ain't trippin'. Staying in the game like a straight up player. Grooving to the illest, get down with Mahala. Giving you this message as loud as a bell. Holding it down, deuces upside sound.
Bringing all the noise, his name is Tenais. RTL to BLA.
People always tell me, you flow so cruisy. Remember my name, the name is Tutti.
Come join us on this musical journey. I'll show you the way, my name is Bernie.
We love to go hunting day and night. You should see what we catch, it's out of sight.
Fishing is the way, the life, and that's truth. I'm about to get loose, telling you that's my hooks. Feeding my family is always priority. Chuck a line out and there ain't nothing new to me.
Jay Hogan is here, full blood wine. Your man here to represent my people and my land. BLA is where I come from. All the skills I know that once was heritage. They came from the old ones, but now it's my time. I'm standing up, I'm grabbing my books, I'm writing my notes, I'm making a rhyme. I'm ready to rap, I'm ready to speak, I'm ready to spit. I'm ready to stand for the young and speak for the old. I'm Jay Hogan, so what's up, BLA?
We're the barefoot warriors. What? We're the barefoot warriors. Hey, we're the barefoot warriors. What? Walking around in the bush, we don't need no boots. We're the barefoot warriors. What? We're the barefoot warriors. Hey, we're the barefoot warriors. What? Walking around in the bush, we don't need no boots. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria.
Welcome everybody, this is me and my brothers who just kicking back in the studio. And this is dedicated to my Yanyel and Garwa people. RTL and BLA, let's go!
Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria.
BLA is where I stand. I'm a hunter, I'm a man, I am proud of who I am. I'm proud of who I am. Robinson, we keep it real. My hometown, we do not steal. January, Garawa, speak the truth. Barefoot warrior, don't need no boots.
I'm not gaming, that's the truth. Come to my town to have a look. Big barramundies on the hook. Take it home for me to cook. I'm DK, I got something to say. From Robinson to BLA. Crazy fisherman from Savannah Way. Listen up, y'all, I got something to say.
Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria.
Riding round with the motorbike. Ain't going home till I see the moonlight. My name is Davis, they call me Wissy. Making big dust when I'm drifting.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Bernie and Rango at your door. Chosen on the beat, Toothy on the street. S. Evans, Big T, Charlie, Javis and Noah on the mic. Sonny's out here, he bustin' the rhyme. DK and Declan trying to get with ya. Don't get it twisted, his name is Sylvester. Throw your hands up now, give it everything, cause you know he's on the flow like Jaden King. Fire like a cannon, you down with Shannon. Borrow Lula Robinson, you know we ain't trippin'. Staying in the game like a straight up player. Groove it to the illest kid down with Mahala. Giving you this message as loud as a bell. Holding it down, deuces upside sound.
Bringing all the noise, his name is Tenais. RTL to BLA.
People always tell me, you flow so cruisy. Remember my name, the name is Tutti.
Come join us on this musical journey. I'll show you the way. My name is Bernie.
We love to go hunting day and night. You should see what we catch, it's out of sight.
Fishing is the way, the life, and that's truth. I'm about to get loose, telling you that's my hooks. Feeding my family is always priority. Chuck a line out and there ain't nothing new to me.
Jay Hogan is here, full blood wine. Your man here to represent my people and my land. BLA is where I come from. All the skills I know that once was heritage. They came from the old ones, but now it's my time. I'm standing up, I'm grabbing my books, I'm writing my notes, I'm making a rhyme. I'm ready to rap, I'm ready to speak, I'm ready to spit, I'm ready to stand for the young and speak for the old. I'm Jay Hogan, so
good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.
Yo, 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 seniors! Such a natural. We are here to do some integrated learning, and we're still looking at alcohol and the effects it has on our bodies, and today we are specifically looking at drink driving. We started having a look yesterday and found out some facts about how alcohol can affect you when you're driving. Today we're going to look at, and I'm just going to come forward and show you the page from our workbooks. It's here. It's about creating our own don't drink and drive posters, all right? So I have some slogans that I've got off different staff from Yirara. We've come up with them ourselves to remind us not to drink and drive. Before we go through them, I'm going to show you some drink driving or anti-drink driving advertisements I found on the internet. So yesterday we looked at some of the facts about drink driving, and we looked about what BAC is, blood alcohol concentration, so that's how much alcohol is in your blood, and you're only allowed 0.05, or if you have your L's or your P's, you're allowed to have no alcohol in your system, and it's advised not to have any in your system anyway, especially when driving. Okay, and we looked at how it affects your body if you are driving and drinking. So it slows down your reaction time, clouds your thinking, reduces your attention span, and it also can cause blurred vision and reduced hearing. So these are some of the things you can think about when you're creating your posters on why we shouldn't drink and drive, okay? Now here are some off the internet. This one says, don't drink and drive so we all stay alive. And they've got a really good picture of a car in a pint of beer. It's gone. It's no good anymore. Okay, another one here. It says Absolute Choice. Now, that's a bit of a play. Absolute is a brand name of vodka, generally, and they're actually saying, giving you some comparisons. So if the cops fine you and you've been drink driving, it could be a $1,500 fine. Your destination could be jail, and your time could be 2 years or probably more. But if you choose a taxi, it's a $20 cost, your destination could be home, and your time, it might take 2 minutes, couple of hours, whatever, but it's a lot better option than the coppers getting you. So I thought that was a good comparison. This is a nice simple one, but from that picture you can tell, nah, don't pick up your keys. If you drink, don't drive. Don't touch those keys. This is another one. It's got a really good picture, as in beers, smashing cars, it's great. And it says, don't let cheers turn into tears. So when you cheers those beer bottles or those drinks, it could turn into tears if you drive. Okay, this is just a simple one. It's asking, what's your plan B? So you've got a beer there, you've got some keys there. What's your plan B? Don't think, oh, I'm just going to drive, I've just had one. What else can you do? And we talked about it yesterday. Taxis, staying over, Ubers, or finding a designated driver. They're just some options. And last one, This is, again, has a good picture. It's got a smashed up car, it's got a smashed up champagne bottle or bubbles bottle, and it says arrive alive, don't drink and drive. So lots of things. The words can affect you and make you remember the message, and also the pictures can make you remember a message too. Both really important. Okay, and I reckon that's it, is it? Is that the last slide? Okay, cool. So if we have a look at our poster here, you've just got a blank piece of paper to put in a picture and some drink driving messages, and it's all about trying to make people not drink before they drive. So I actually asked a few staff, and I've got some prepared here, some slogans you might call them, and we've tried to make them a bit punchy so that people can remember them, and hopefully if it makes people remember them and do the right thing. So these are some, and then I'm going to ask some people from behind the cameras if they have any suggestions of their own. And I bet they're really excited about that. Okay, so the first one I have, and I'm going to put them here, this was a suggestion. It says, if you're driving after drinking, you're not really thinking. That's a good punchy one, that rhymes. Okay, next one. This one, don't get in the car if you've been to the bar. All right, another rhyming one. I've got two more here. This one says, don't be a hero, BAC, so blood, alcohol, concentration, 0. Don't be a hero, BAC, 0. And the last one is too many beers, ... many more tears. All right, too many beers could result in a lot more tears and sadness. So there's some ideas. Now, I'm going to ask the people, you can't see them, I can, and they're really ready to go here. Do we have any suggestions for your own slogans?
One I like is, it goes, be a thinker, not a drinker.
Paul Imms has said, be a thinker, so use your head, not a drinker. I love it. Thank you, Mr. Imms. That's a great one. You came up with that all by yourself. Or maybe he Googled it. I'm not sure. Keegan, do you have one?
Don't drink and drive, arrive alive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hey, that's reading all for you guys.
Don't. No, I'm going to take all of them, even if we've heard them before. Don't drink, and that's short. Drive. Arrive. There's lots of I've words. Arrive. Alive. Love it. That's good. That's punchy. Any more, Tyson? Have you got any back there? And if you haven't, you can just say no. You haven't got one? All right. Tina's got one. What's hers? I'm going to read it. She's written it down.
Be a survivor, not a drinker.
I love it. Be a survivor. Be a survivor. Be a survivor. Not a drink driver. There we go. There's 3 different slogans up there. That can help. Oh, we've got another one. Mr. Paul has one. Yes, Mr. Paul.
Did you hear the story about the drink driver?
Did I hear the story about the drink driver? No.
It's a killer.
Did everyone get that? Mr. Paul just made a joke. Did you hear the story about the drink driver? It's a killer. Everyone laugh. I'm not sure if it is. It's a very good play on words. I love it. So these are some ideas that you could have. And you can also play around with your own slogans, like you don't have to use the word drink. You could use grog. You could use booze. All right. Beers. Wine. And then you can play around to see what rhymes with these words. All right, to see if you can make up your own slogan. There's lots on the internet, but I wonder if you can come up with your very own slogan. That's what we're going to focus on today, our own slogans, and using the information we know about drink driving and how we can put it into a message to stop people drinking and driving and making the right choices.
Hey, Miss Flo.
Oh, yes, I've got, yes,
I just
Mr.
thought,
Paul.
Why don't we put a prize out if we could do a prize. Whoever brings the best poster in, I'll give them $10.
Whoa! Okay, so Mr. Paul has said that if you do the best poster, all right, and that means like the most thought out, you've got a really good message and you've tried hard, you can get a prize. So a prize for the best poster. I can hear all of you saying, challenge accepted. I can see you all starting. That sounds really good. It should be we actually had fun coming up with these rhyming words and messages. So I hope you have fun at home too. That's all for today. Nice and short and sharp. Tomorrow we won't see you, then you have the weekend, and I will see you next week for possibly I'm doing maths and Mr. Paul's doing integrated learning. So thanks for listening. Bye.
Good afternoon, senior students. We're here for another maths lesson, and this will be the last maths lesson for the week, so that'll be a good thing. But look, what we are going to do is we're going to, as usual, start off with a few jokes. Now, I've sort of run out of a few of the ones I had, so when I finished teaching at Tuchikala College in Humpty Doo a couple of years ago, the staff there gave me this book, the very embarrassing book of dad jokes, number 2. So I'm going to use some of these. Not all of them are funny. Thank you, hecklers. Not because I know that all of them. So I've chosen the best of these that you're probably still not going to like anyway. But tough luck. Here we go. I've just bought a fish and chip shop, but I'm making no money, only opening one day a week. How can I make a profit when there is only one Friday each week? Okay. I will explain it later. Did you see the teacher throw that piece of chalk at Eric for copying his work? Yes, he said it was a cheat-seeking missile. Not a cheat-seeking. Okay. How did the farmer cross it? Oh, now, sorry. Do you know what an organ is? Like it's like an electric piano sort of thing, keyboards. Okay. So why did the farmer cross a chicken with an electric organ? So he could have Hammond eggs. Hammond is a brand of...
Oh, no. Oh, dear. I'm in pain. I'm in pain.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to change banks. I went in yesterday and asked the lady if she'd check my balance. She pushed me over. What do you give a stressed out elephant?
What do you give a stressed out elephant?
Tranquilizers. Hey, I had a text the other day and it said the 3 letters IDK. What does that mean? No, neither do I. So what's it mean?
Oh, yes, they are definitely dad jokes.
Okay. I was in Target yesterday as I needed to buy a candle. The shopkeeper asked me if I would like a red one or a blue one. I asked which burns longer and she said neither, they both burn shorter.
I don't understand.
It's a candle.
They don't burn longer time perhaps, but short, yeah.
When you explain the joke...
What are caterpillars afraid of?
Spiders.
No, doggerpillars.
Oh, that counting dog.
My brain hurts.
More maths, more maths.
Okay. And last one. I said to Flo that she had a funny nose, and all she could say was, I didn't pick it. Okay, so we're back. Remember, we're doing this to maths again. Let's focus. I hope you got one of those jokes at least anyway. And if I hear stories about these doing the rounds of the communities, I'll know I've succeeded in something. We're converting millimetres to centimetres, centimetres to metres, metres to kilometres, seeing how much is in each one. And if I have, do you remember how many millimetres are in 1 centimetre? No, I'm not. I'm asking the people in the camera.
Oh, the people in the camera.
Yeah, but then they're still thinking. Okay, they're still thinking. So, but let me help you. So it's 10 of those little millimetres make up 1 centimetre. And remember, I talked to you yesterday about the whole deci thing and how tens, hundreds, and thousands are all important. And so, and what are multiples of each other, they occur all the time. So how many centimetres are in a metre? Keenan.
100.
Okay, it's 100. Okay, we're getting it right. That's good. Okay, so look, we're going to look at one of the worksheets that are in front of us. We're going to quickly go over 4 pages here. So there's a little bit of work, but there really isn't, because you just got to put some numbers in and you'll be fine. So the first one, if you have a look at the sheet, has a small screw that is 10 millimeters long, and we want to change that millimeters into centimeters. So how many tens are in 10? There is 1. So 10 millimeters, 10 divided by 10 equals 1. So 10 millimeters is 1 centimetre. If 10 millimetres is 1 centimetre, 30 millimetres will be how many centimetres? So now we're thinking 30, how many tens are in 30? How many tens are in 30? And even if we count the other way, we'll go 10, 20, 30. So there's 3 centimetres. Look at the next one. And it's 50 millimetres is how many centimetres? How many tens are in 50? And again, we can count, the opposite of divided by is times. We can count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There's 5. So 50 millimetres is 5 centimetres. Now I'm going to put some of these up on the board behind me. This is our chart, just an abbreviation, a shortened version. So 10 millimetres is 1 centimetre. 30 millimetres is 3 centimetres. 5 millimetres that we've just figured out is 50 millimetres is 5 centimetres. Now I'm not going to do the whole list down the page. That's your homework. So 90 millimetres is how many centimetres? How many times does 10 go into 90? And look, when it's a nice round number, I can actually cross think of the number 10, there's 1 0 in it. If I get rid of that 0, my answer is 9. And if I use that again here, where if I want to know how many 10s are in 120, I can take that 0 away and it leaves me with 12. And you can go down the rest of the sheet and figure that out for yourselves. The next question, what's that, number 3, gives us a diagram of a washing machine. And if you can get access to a washing machine and a ruler, work out the dimensions of it, both in millimetres and then in centimetres. So whatever your ruler is going to show you, if you do how high it is, how wide it is, and how deep it is, then you can figure out how big it is. So we want both millimetres and centimetres. So actually the picture shows us the height of it is not 850 millimetres. So if I've got 850 millimetres, and this is my height, and then what was the trick that I just did because I want to remember there's 10 centimetres in a millimetre. I want to know how many times does 10 go into 850. What did I do with the 0 at the end? I could just cross it off and I will know that there is 85 centimetres. And if you do the same thing, we're really figuring out 850 divided by 10. How many 10s are in 850? And if I get rid of the zeros, my answer is 85. And if you could do the same for both the width and the length and show the working out, then you'll know the dimensions of your washing machine. And just to, give you some information, if you were measuring out, the size of your floor, we talk about this as the area, and that's length times width. And my answer might be in millimetres squared, because because of the size of it, I'm using 2 dimensions, so it's squared. Now with my washing machine, I'm going to go, there's a 3rd dimension to it as well, and that's depth. So I've got, if I still want to find the length, the width across here, but now I also want to find the depth, how far back it goes. I'm now going to talk about that in millimetres or centimetres cubed. So it's got a little 3 above it here. Okay, let's turn the page. That was just a bit of information, extra information for you. And the idea is to find a couple of objects at home that you can measure. The examples there are you've got such as the fridge, microwave oven, toaster, cupboard, desktop computer, whatever it is that you've got at home. Draw a diagram, put the measurements, and figure out what they are in both centimetres and millimetres. I don't know what's in your home, so you can figure that out. There's probably at least a fridge and a cupboard, so try and figure, do some drawing, do some measuring, and bring the books back with you. Okay, as we go on to the next activity, this has got to do with metres and centimetres, and we're going to do a bit of converting here. Now, there's a number of different pictures here on the side. So, what's that? That first one. It's a flag that's 1 metre long. I've got a stool that's 2 metres, a car that's 5 metres, a boat that's 5.2 metres, a truck that's 8.4, a plane that's 7.54 metres, and a road train that's 32.15 metres. And what I want to do is, I'm going to multiply those numbers by 100 to give me the answer in centimetres. So if I already have up here that 1 times 100, 1 metre is 100 centimetres. If my stool, my bench there, is 2 metres long, and I want it, and I'm 2 times 100, yes, you're right, is 200. What's the next picture? Is a car is 5 metres long. Again, I'm saying times 100. 5 times 100 is 500. I'm only going to do the next one for you because I want you to try and do the rest of these yourself. It's not a car, it's a boat, is 5.2 metres long. I want to do this times 100. Now, my little trick that I use in my head is that this 100 has 2 zeros in it. So I'm going to move this decimal point over 1, 2. So if I put another 0 in there, 5.20 is exactly the same as 5.2. But when I move the decimal points over, that becomes 520. And I know that that is right as well because 5 metres is 500, or 5.2 is just a bit bigger than 5, so 5.2 will be 520. Okay, so you can perhaps let's do this one. If I wanted to, what was the second last one? Is an aeroplane is 7.54 metres long. Now again, if I move this times 100, I'm going to move this over 1, 2 places, so my decimal point there goes there now, and that becomes 754. And I mean, I could put 00, but those zeros don't mean anything. So 7.54 metres is the same as 754 centimetres. And I'll get you to complete the rest of that page. And then we're on to measuring some different items. And this time we're going to convert it the other way. We're going to go from centimetres, so we're measuring it in centimetres, and we want to talk about it in terms of metres. I know that there's 100 centimetres in a metre, so I need to divide my number by 100. The first, and I've put 5 of them up here, so I'll do the first 5 for the fish, the shark, the crocodile, the camel, and the bird. Yes, and then you can go on and do the 3 vehicles and the two courts. So let's have a look at the fish first. The fish is 100 centimetres long. So, actually there it is. 100 centimetres. It's a nice sized fish. 100 centimetres long. And how many hundreds? I know there's 100 centimetres in a metre. How many hundreds are in 100? There is 1. Now, the next picture is the shark, which is 200 centimetres long. How many? I'm going to divide this by 100. How many hundreds are in 200? There is 2 of them. Then there's the crocodile. And again, it's 600 centimetres long. If I divide that by 100, how many hundreds are in 600? And again, I can go 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. There are 6 of them. With what's the next animal? Is a camel. Is 190 centimetres tall. Okay, so it's not looking at the length, it's looking at the height. So this camel is just a bit bigger than me. It's 190 divided by 100. Now again, if I write 190, I could do as many zeros as I want at the end. Point 0 doesn't change it at all. But what I want to do is when I divide it by 100, over here, when I multiplied by 100, I moved it to the decimal point 2 places to the right. Now, when I divide by 100, I'm going to move it back in the left direction. So my decimal point will finish up here. And how many hundreds? There is 100 in 190, and there's still 90 left over, 1.9 metres. And that's probably a good way to explain it, because then as we go on to that last animal being the eagle, and the wingspan of the eagle being 220 centimetres, and I want to talk about this in regards to metres. So I've got 2.2. How many hundreds are in 220? Well, there's 2 of them, because 2 times 100 is 200. And there's still 20 left over. So I'm going to put that as well. And that's the same as if I had have done 220.00, and I move that decimal point over 2 places, it's now between the 2 2's 2.2 metres. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, and you can see how we can change from metres, centimetres to metres, metres to centimetres, by knowing that there's 100 centimetres in a metre. A metre has 100 centimetres in it, working both ways, and we can do those, transfer that information, do the calculations, and hopefully give some good measurements when they're needed. So look, thanks for that. You've got those 4 sheets to complete. Work on them, and I'll look forward to marking them when you bring them back to school next term. So have a great weekend. God bless, and see you later.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.